Minus 0 seconds. Welcome everybody to the second student reading of the 50th summer writing program ever. So if you weren't here last week, I'm going to remind you how we're going to operate. Everyone gets 5 minutes. At 5 minutes, and please be pro about your time, at 5 minutes I will start to hum. And if you hear me humming, hum along and try to hum like a different note. And then we can all harmonize beautifully together to gently let the poet know that they are over their time instead of gonging them off or grabbing them with the hook. We didn't have a hook, so you have a hook. Also, if I mangle your name up here, please repeat it correctly on the mic. For the toiling archivist in the secret dungeon under the pack, where we keep them. On a serious note, we all know that we're living through a very difficult time right now. I wanted to re-invoke some language that was invoked at the beginning of this program and hope that it can fully re-enter our daily lexicon. And this is a phrase that came from the families of the hostages, and it's everyone for everyone. Every Palestinian political prisoner held without trial, without evidence, without justice. For every hostage in Gaza, Israeli, American, French-Mexican, Nepali, Thai, living and dead. Kulam bishvil kulam. If as artists, activists, and poets, we are truly committed to peace and to ending this more than a century-old cycle of violence, we must say so. And we must say so loudly and with conviction. Let's start the show. Up first is Juniper Bbus Holmquist.
My first poem is called Vampires or Lesbians. Open with the quote, an epigraph from Transylvanian Hunger by Dark Throne. But I won't read all of it because I don't have fucking time. Okay, let's start. Vampires or lesbians. You fuck me like an animal, imagineering you. Vampires or lesbians, lesbians or vampires. You caress my body, drink my blood. You tie me up on a meat rack. You drink my wounds. I'm so contorted. You're so bleeding as one does. It makes you hotter. I don't bleed if I don't have blood. In Transylvania, there were vampires who bled profusely monthly, and those who bled upon the stabs. They did not interact. In Transylvania now, we are working towards equality. You look like a vampire, so unbelievably pale, even without makeup, all the red you've ever owned in your lips only. You are cold, soul, to haunt, to haunt. I am cold, soul, to haunt, to haunt. Cold, frozen, lesbian, vampire, when I want to put my hand on your thigh, on your dress, on your flesh, on your body, on your vagina, on your wet flesh, I freeze up. They told me I was a predator at Hampshire. Another trans woman, computer autocorrected to trans omen. Leah wrote a poem called I Am Not a Predator. I felt so seen. Someday I'll stop being a pussy and touch you anyway. I want to fuck Eileen Miles. If I was 60 years ago, the age I am now, I think we would have done some shit. I want to fuck someone at SWP who's in the audience. That's all you get to know. Do your research. Like writing the Iovis trilogy, A, the Cantos, the Bridge, Patterson, Maximus poem, then parentheses, the Changing Light, the Hanover. Lesbians are vampires, and I want you, or maybe just your blood. Either works. Thank you, thank you. Let's get the next one I'm going to read is called, this is a bit of a political poem. It's called Arabic Number 1, and it's read from right to left. Before I read this, I want to say, I have a Jewish father. My father is an anti-Zionist Jew. I have a Palestinian sister-in-law. I take this personally. Israel is a failed project. There's no reason for it to exist. It was never a homeland. It doesn't need to exist. You are beautiful, a peony phoenix, 12 tribes, a thing that I don't understand. I am a Jew, but wrong, in love with anything that can escape me from what I'm not. Salam to me reads as more Semitic than shalom. I am in love with you changing me. Next one. The role of the poet is to fuck up. The role of the poet is to fuck up everything in sight. The role of the poet is ultra-violence at craft and taste. The role of the poet is to love people deeply and without censor or restraint. The role of the poet is to die bloody on the page. The role of the poet is to be a nexus node of community. The role of the poet is to educate their past self and future others who have synergy. The role of the poet is no bullshit, cut the crap. The role of the poet is truth, subjectivist or objectivist. The role of the poet is to kill with love and love with kill. The role of the poet is to work across the divide but never compromise. The role of the poet is to make the insidiously ordinary visible. The role of the poet is a neuroqueer heresy. The role of the poet is to do everything wrong, love, writing, and life. The role of the poet is to do politics right. The role of the poet is to stop goddamn left-wing infighting and fight the real fucking enemy. The role of the poet is to love, to love, to love, and never ever stop. The role of the poet is to write all caps, even in all lowercase. The role of the poet is to revolution as a theater of cruelty. The role of the poet is to make practice sexy. The role of the poet is to make visible all the different ways one can fuck. The role of the poet is to meditate while throwing a Molotov. The role of the poet is to see Molotovs in their mind while meditating. The role of the poet is, the role of the poet is, the role of the poet is. I appreciate it, but I got another, maybe 3 minutes to read. How many, Eric?
45 seconds.
Let's go fast. I'll read a really short one. I want to be more honest, so I'm going to read something. More gentle, also. Red lipstick, orange Doc Moose shirt, black thick bison boots, Boris Johnson Barry Munoz veranda, gray shorts, one tattoo and fucking blood and fresh, breast and a dick. Objects list, am I an object? Look at me in the window. You can think you are a voyeur, but I'm asking for it. I look at myself in the mirror and block my lipstick with dishy soap and water to be more beautiful. And I think, holy shit, I'm such a fucking goddess. The Armani red stains my center teeth, the same one that I chipped after trying a BMX nose stand on the concrete pad at the University of Illinois at Chicago. Would it be better if I bled from shred rip, sweat arm, from shred rip, sweat, sweat? If I look back at the mirror, self-portrait forming convex in my mind of what I really look like, beyond the dysphoria, beyond the dysmorphia, beyond the fact if I wasn't a pussy, I'd be 85 fucking pounds. Behind the idolization of the thin white duke, I get ASMR as my hair starts snaking like Medusa, like a body. As the air goes past me, the bane is dripping like Dolly wax. I love love. Thank you.
Great humming, y'all. That was so nice. So pretty. You should all join my a cappella band. Johan is up next.
Hey guys, my name is Johan. So I wrote the first poem that I'm going to read, I wrote it for Roger's class. New shit! Yes, new shit, exactly. It's titled Divine Lust. I won't get into the descriptions too much, but it's about, or Divine Orgasm, sorry, Divine Orgasm. It's my first time writing in this space, but it's basically how the process of spirituality feels like God is edging you. You're almost there, and then you're not, and then the masks of the ego are back here. So I'll start. Teasing me, tasting me, embrace me, cruel, cruel games of Leela, orgasmic spine, final release denied, suffocating blue balls of the mind, vibrating third eye, tickling skin, punishing me without grace, sensual blessings, unity with you, tease, tease, tease me not, spare, spare me, eternal lover, spare me, spare, toxic abuser. Why grant illusion of freedom? Bestowing pure awareness through tingling spine, orgasm divine, why dissolve ego, wretched ahankar? Only to trap me, trap again, my temporal, unreal identity of fool. What is the purpose of this final, cruel realization? All you're doing is granting false enlightenment, crippling illusion. Take away not this gift. Giver of pain, I turn insane. Shun this duality, masks of paradox. Save me, kill me. Why torture me? Dance between pain, pleasure, imprisoning play of ego, soul. Edge me not, bestow, unity of whole. Thank you. The second one's in honor of Men's Mental Health Month. For some reason, I've not heard enough of that this month. So, fear, state of mind, distorted love of the weeping soul. One afraid of all, weak or sensitive. Why cry, complain, bicker? Why can't they just be fucking happy? Feel the embrace of the sun, the grass beneath, soak in the clean air. Run like a wild animal, nothing to be afraid of. But comprehend the cries of the weeping soul. The ones who fear all simply want to be heard. Why can't no one else feel what they do? Why is bottling up emotions regarded as a sign of strength? Why is it that crying is perceived as weak? Are you a girl? Why are you crying? Okay, family and friends, I won't cry anymore. I won't peel off my layers. I will no longer be vulnerable around you. I'll keep my fear and sadness bottled up, forcing the young boy within to act like a true man. I can't cry anymore even when I want to. Let it all out and be vulnerable to Mother Earth. Am I strong now, Mummy? Can't break down unless I reach a tipping point of no return. Is that what it means to be a man? Should I sweat my despair and fear by running away into the mountains? Am I masculine enough if the young asthmatic boy within is protected by a shallow lair of a man with abs, still afraid of all that is and will ever be? They like it when I shout, when I show my rage instead, when I act like a masculine fuck with an ego enmeshing the soul within. Sadness is disguised as rage so that I appear like a man. Accept all aspects of me, the darkness lingering beneath the masks of light. I am exhausted being that which I'm not, that which bottles my grief, transforming it into annihilating rage. Avoid it not, seek the pain within, turn it into the melody of the gods, the Leela of Madhav himself. All shadows within distorted versions of love. Love never received, love never given. So love and love freely, love and love ferociously. Love can be wild and dangerous, so let it all out. The tears of fear, for you live only once, but you can love forever. Happy Men's Mental Health Day. Thank you.
Johan, thank you for bringing that in. Up next is David Mcnicholas.
But don't everybody look at it yet. It's not the one I'm reading, so. Can we sense each other at all if we refuse all fear? This first one I'm going to read is from a couple years ago, and I'm dedicating it to someone who may or may not be in the audience tonight, who is a young person who told me yesterday that they were afraid of growing old. It's called a Hello Kitty steering wheel cover. Someone married their car. They found great joy in the way some parts of it were proud and others shy, the vibrations of the revving engine. They added aftermarket ground effects to increase its sex appeal. The owner's manual left no room for doubt, no space for deception, and prepared them for all eventualities. They were married for a very short time indeed when they were able to establish a baseline for operating costs. It could be said that they knew when the costs would begin to outweigh the value and when they could expect to want to trade in. When that day came, the car did not cry. Someone did not cry. "You've changed," they said. The car went on to be resold a handful of times to less and less discerning buyers. Along the way, it lost some inessential parts while gaining some others. A cheap steering wheel cover in the likeness of Hello Kitty, some pink neon ground lights, and some cheap plastic hubcaps. It developed a limp. It listed to the right when there were no hands on the wheel. It became difficult to operate. Someone lived a life of service stations. They were useful and fun to run around with. Someone will never rust. They will go to body shops. Someone exists as a concept. Someone replaces every part of themselves. They are a symphony of value and aesthetics. This one's about 4 years old, and it's called Tied to Bricks. In this town, it's illegal to possess canned goods. We townsfolk have set up a great trebuchet to hurl illicit provisions further than the eye can see. The town council are all quite self-satisfied until the thank you notes start coming in. Hails Mary, tied to bricks. All right, and this one was written for Danielle's class. And it's that thing. It's easier to accelerate in smaller arcs, like when my sister died, I borrowed a pickup from my father and drove to Bryan's Road, Maryland for her services. The wheels spinning were arcs reaching up out of time to transmute a distance in my chest. Smoke spoke into the air. For 40 years, I wore special braces on my heart to limit how deeply I would feel. Without them, I would abyss, drag family members with me. Now I put them on for comfort when I am overwhelmed, but they no longer work. My body is an arc of flaming pins and needles, a stretched out communication. If you would just listen to the smells of oregano, basil, marjoram, a simple garden filled at the scale of life. The sun is there, the virus too. Summer, like a writer's hair shirt, lips glisten, wiggle around a bean, smoke spoke into the air. I am uncomfortable with this body, these tears more than mimic a forward motion, they describe an arc. Boys who don't cry become violent, don't cry become violent. Straight lines slicing through leave no square-edged wound. Upon breaking open, we quickly curve our skin away from a center. Tears and blood drip and spatter, curve around corners of microclimate, decimal updrafts, air curtains, tilt of axis. At her memorial service, my sister asked me to spend an extra day with her widower, the childlike Maryland tree farmer with missile guidance patents in D.C. Sisters, brothers, nieces, and nephews spend the night drinking and smoking and asserting ideological dominance through emotional force. I wore a blue tropical sarong the entire time. All my other relatives left hungover in the morning. I helped my sister's widower put boots on his swollen feet. I took the trash from the weekend to the burn site. I lit whole bags of trash on fire between two felled and charred trunks, surprised how fast kitchen garbage burns, how green flames and sick smoke spoke into the air.
Thank you, David. Up next is Aja Pink Davis.
Hi, everybody. This is an extraction of a 10-page poem that I'm going to turn into a film soon, so it's shortened. Usually there's a full letter at the end. Act 2. The charnel grounds of this poem, the glitch, the tear, the portal, the knot, language of the knots, the shadow of your head. I may need to be performative. Don't stay there in the performance. Come lay in my lap. Sowing the scent of blood. The only thing wrong is the mass murder of memory. My poems keep what I can give. You have never felt the sense of sound. I carry it around like an amulet. An enemy is also a mirror. I'm standing in line for death when the girl pulls out my poem and asks me to lovely her. Get out of my head, I tell her. I think I do lovely you. I think you're very lovelyable, but I can only lovely you while I'm waiting. I'm dreaming again. She makes me laugh. She captures me with the camera. It's a nightmare. I'm free with gentle wings. I awake in the flutter. I see the cocoon for what it is, what made love is made out of, an altar for your melting. She comes at me with the net. The illuminated jar is reflective. I see myself in the mirror. The enemy is also the mirror. The enemy is her wish to keep. My love runs from the stream to the sea. My love runs from my head to my knees. She turns into a crow. She waits for me to say something. Listen, I say, my wings flapping. I'm sorry I turned you into my longest breath. I wanted to ride you like a wild bird, like a god I could mount. I'm sorry I fell into hell with my sincerity, but audacity is good, free. I won't accept it, she caws. You have spent too long living in defiance. I've spent my time living in your defiance. You cannot live in my defiance. I'm a bird. But your hair is long, I ponder. You're imagining things again. It's time to wake up. She melts into a pile of black candle wax. My pillow whispers to me. I still hear her cawing through silk. Act 3. Ears never closed, always open. Definitive, the act of listening through touch. Echoed, the throw lives in the thrust. A mystical notion of transaction between us. My tiger orchid opens, the sound of the invitation. It swallows you, your blood fills me. I feel your thoughts, I taste them. In prayer we are found together, God chants our name in the chapel. We are the beginning of the end, what is bottled up, releases. I am here, folded like a child, naked and dreamy. Can you hear that star? Get up on your tiptoes. I open my eyes louder and hold my hands out. This touch is sticky, to be read and ridden, the vehicle of the spirit. The touch is sticky, fruitful. I smell it. I open my eyes louder, then hold my hands out, cupping the disheartened, mouth open, ready to beg. How does a woman write winning, her body making itself clear, carrier of the country, owner of the feral, messy thing that is knowing, then keeping? How does a woman write her body? How does the body make itself heard? If I lay a blanket down in prayer, will you lay with me? While I am folded like a child, naked and dreamy, while I am shining in your hands, moony and released. I write you this letter. I don't know what memories they let you keep. If you have forgotten, I'll remind you. You have always been good. Even when you stripped me, even when you refused to remember my sincerity or let it in, I still held you so you would know that you are good. But I have to let go now. I have to let you live outside of me. I have to let you go back out into the sky, but it will always be here, waiting but not expecting. I will visit it, you, every now and then, to check that I really felt it, that it all wasn't a dream or a nightmare or a promise I was supposed to keep. Wild gold bird of vanity, be free, be good. I cannot make you. Thank you. I've been really into using poems as a ritual of letting go of grief of people and then naming them as creatures like the gold wild bird of vanity. So, thank you.
Thank you, Aja. I lovelied that. Up next is Kate Miller. And for the archivist, that's Miller with an A, like Mark Miller from Jupiter's Legacy. Yes, like 6 comic fans. Kate Miller, everybody.
Okay, these first 2 poems are from a series called Antonyms for Obsolete, where I take words from Scots and Ulster Scots and write poems about them. Stoating, adjective, Scottish, when it rains so heavily that the drops of rain bounce off the ground. Caledonia, loose collection of many parts, cairns, like language, heaps of stones laid by many hands to mark a summit or a grave or a desolate path's terrain. It is sometimes moorland, with bracken curling like letters waiting to unfurl on the tongue, like Miss Nixon's primary 2s, learning Félta in Ukrainian, rolling the R's like Scots. The right to roam, bothy for shelter from the squall, the missile hail that needles the sky, the sensation of Félta. To be gale-smacked, to be tugged into a Kaylee dance, not knowing the steps, to have arms threading you through other arms like the cross-hatched threads of tartan, a presence so confronting it seems to have erased history. Hilarity filling your ears, the whoops, the melodeon's wheezy laugh, the kitsch of tartan, the punk rock of it, blotting out your memory. A moment of flimsy pleasure, the whiskey-colored leaves, the tulips in the vase keeling over, the coconut smell of gorse, displaced by the salt of spindrift and the noxious Scotch broom. Monymusk, Argyll, Fort William, Dumbarton, all Jamaican plantation names. What Failta is this? The Edinburgh Evening Current reads, run away on the 7th instant from Dr. Gustavus Brown's lodging in Glasgow, a Negro woman named Anne, being about 18 years of age, with a green gown and a brass collar about her neck, on which are engraved these words, Gustavus Brown in Dalkeith, 1726. Tartan-clad runaways, weighed down by the fabric of their enslavers. The sky mourns Dreek, erasing its own blue soul, bereavement of gloaming light. The cairns, the graves cannot be erased. Even their disassembling will not vanish their trace. The wind has a memory and the earth a face. This next one is called Bairn, which is a noun, Scottish or Ulster Scots for a child, known only to God. You rest, you go home, you wait, keening daylight. Do you know that the loch laments, flings seaweed on the cars on the Portaferry Road? What plant would your small fingers have reached for if you made it to the garden? Would your first word have been bet, or blue, or Tom, or bat, or let? Did you see the way October wept more than usual? Can you still feel the soft, fractured dome of your head? Did the moon cold seep into the cracks? Or the mist cold, the morning cold, the wet mud cold? Has God given you your white stone yet? The one from Revelation inscribed with your true name, known only to God, known only to the one who reads it. Love you, though it chokes to say, my cousin, my brother, we would have been the same age. Though it chokes to leave this land, and you and nothing, I want to believe a cloud will rest as you did on Strangford Loch, with weight of love, that this time there will be warmth and branches sprouting green words. This poem is about baby Stuart, who was found in October 2000. He wasn't identified, the parents or the name, so they just named him Baby Stuart. My second cousin conducted the funeral. And there's a photo of him on the internet. If you search Baby Stuart, Northern Ireland, and he's carrying a white coffin the size of a shoebox. And finally, I'm going to read a poem from our class, inspired by Carolina's class. And this is I really wanted to hear you guys say that. So this is the bird song of Kauai o'o, which is a bird that went extinct in the 80s, and people think this might be the last ever recording of it. It's a male bird, and it's a mating call, but there's never a reply. Kauai o'o, you owe a honey pitch. You wait for love to be returned to you. White silence, infinite echo, the lonely drip. O's of honey replaying on YouTube, where you are made alive again. The last lung, the last Kauai o'o love song. How to say sorry in bird, how to mourn like the dove, how to utter love in one direction, how to wait, how to preserve, how to carry daylight in your voice. My apology is to learn your name. My apology is to listen. My apology is to refuse that the archive be the only place for you to sing. Birdsong caged in this black box. Storm petrel, song outlive me. Swift, song outlive me. House martin, greenfinch, song outlive me. Starling, curlew, Kentish plover, outlive me, outlive me, outlive me, make the archive obsolete.
Thank you, Kate. I might mangle this next name, Danielle Zabreth. Did I do that right?
Danielle Zabreth for the archive. I've been inspired by Andrea's workshop to expand my idea of vengeance, which, which has been helping me with a play I've been working on titled The Department. And so these two poems are dispatches from the department, i.e. new shit. 1. She talks about a banned book. She wants to read what we get to read about her king. She works at the embassy because she wants to call the king what he is. It sucks that the Americans don't want to yell with her. They're too busy unfreeing their speech. So I whisper with her. She tells me the king has AIDS and he's afraid of the kids watching Netflix. I download a PDF on my computer. I type up the newsletter. I download the newsletter. I send it. I download a lot of PDFs on my computer. That's part of my job. I log into my personal email in the browser. It's probably one of the most hacked networks in the world. I hear information goes missing all the time. There's so much knowledge on the internet. It's available to everyone, they say. Her king never smiles, and neither does ours. 2. This is top secret. I'm your spy, but for legal reasons, I didn't say that. The 2 HR people, named Ulysses and Joy, enter the room like James Joyce, sucking all the air out of this poem. Her name was Cassandra. I should have listened to her screaming at us and withholding my paychecks as some sort of prophecy. Mr. Peter and all his principals looks at me and talks of respecting the hierarchy. I cannot write emails telling the truth. Where's your proof, they ask. Where's your proof? They yell, why so emotion? Where is the logic if there's only emotion? I try my barrage. What will you do? Where is the justice? Are you doing your job? What is your job? Let's get it all on the table. They get up from the table. I saw them at the 4th of July party. Do they know they celebrate the fall of one monarchy for the election of another? Their ladder of hierarchy comes crashing down on me. A distance between us forms on his self-satisfied, never smiling face. Mr. Peter tried to tell my friend a joke about his pampered poodle. It wasn't funny. Yet another email lost in the bureaucratic machine, traversing a digital maze with cables of nonsense braided into something they call righteousness or justice or just another day. Someone will note it and say, too much emotion, regards, and go to their DEIA meeting. Evil is banal. Like, you won't believe how fucking boring it is. How someone can get lost in this labyrinth, losing their idealism but keeping their naivete, running on hamster wheels that careen through reality. My air filter has a sticker that says sensitive but unclassified. Oh fuck, yeah, that's what I am, sensitive and unclassified. I don't launder my blood money, and I suggest you don't either. I need to document these red memories. We need to remember how to build something different. We need to remember how to build something different. And here's an open secret. If we strike the match, I'll be holding your hand. Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. Next up, we have Eden.
Eric, am I getting a clicky thing? This might take a second. Sorry. Thank you. Okay, is the PowerPoint? Amazing. Poems and shit. Hello, okay, I wrote a bunch of visual poems, but obviously you wouldn't know that if I was reading them, so here we go, poems and shit. Cool, I wrote 2 poems on either side of a line, and now it looks like this. Existence is futile. Show me to your leader. My body an urn to kingly ashes. I a bucket of bolts and screws. It's not personal. My blue room cave of a IOU and sometimes wine, bloody panties, and Sadie. Cute. Yes. This is also, okay, anyway. Yeah. I'm gonna lose my shit. If you were a black bear or a sun bear trapped in the San Diego Zoo, cast iron bars, spoiled by visibility, withholding your recognition, tired, bored, rolling your eyes for the cameras, lazy chartreuse irises locking on a hungry child, I could throw you a fish or punch you in the face. This one's fucking weird. So, and it might not be legible from out there. It's called Silence is Total. Silence is total. It could swallow anything I say. The sand red for the iron. My footprints chase me up the wash. It's not that no thing is not welcome. It's I keep waking up to no change. Quiet sky filled with quiet. Not just being watched. That everything is indifferent. And the reason it's like that is because there's a bunch of weird fucking combinations within the poem, but yeah, we don't have time for that. And then this is called I Despise the Color Blue. And me as a girl reaching out to Dorado stillness of a midday, sunlit by thin red curtains, stapled carpet, stained glass trout, and turquoise sun. Light greets a room, flowers perk and dark glasses. It can't help but be lonely most noons. Felt curtains still, as if this world were made for you, my love. What was beneath ice, years I was frozen. Tenacity of a girl like her grandma who grew old, an artist, a lawyer, afraid of mountains and remembered as a wife. My pain is a grief for touch of a world I lost. That's the end of that. And then I wrote this a while ago. It's also visual, but not as visual. It's called For Me, for Anne Sexton. Me between two leaves, this parchment rusted by love. Your shape is a no one could take. A handful of pills or a window in June, a still you. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Free Palestine.
Thank you, Eden, and thank you, Danielle, who is not Alyssa. My brain did one of those things. Alyssa Canipa, did I do it right? Alyssa is next.
I love you too. Thank you. I'm nervous, so thank you. My name is Alyssa Canipa, for the archive. These poems are from a collection titled Maelstrom that I'm working on. The poems themselves, it is new shit. The poems themselves are untitled, or if you like, you can just refer to all of them as Maelstrom. You scratch at your neck, rip out tufts of thinning, wispy hair, threaten forever. I beg of you to finally please end it and take us with you, these yawning bellies you've bred, we hunger in your image. We are your blur and your edges, blistering babes run riot with rage. I will sop my thick blood fist in spit and tears for you to drag along the faces of men who wanted you, took me instead. And we'll both bleed raw into oblivion like this whirling blank bore into whole, break the old and the new, crack me into you. Rushing one into sweet, safe mother love, twist round, foaming at mouth toward a point I will never reach, past tendrils and waves of slick, sick bliss. In the pit there sits a mountain. Summer heats the pines, perfumes a world. or what I know of it. Cradle myself in stones and dirt, I long to know another. Find my dreams in fumes of gasoline, trace euphoria from nostril to rib cage, bend spine to lean into the love I've found here among the rodents and the metal. I will waste myself in bathroom stalls with cracking floors, drink black liquid, burn my throat, find myself again among the trees. I see you through jagged mirror glass. My heavy lid sinks shut, lashes crust closed onto puffy skin, flutter open, reveal iris, color of rot and sandscape. I press pad of finger into tear duct, begin to pluck this piece of you from me, scoop out globule of gelatinous sight to become something other than you. Cannot bear to become you. All scream in chaos, to pull into my whipping froth, to soothe into submission my hostage and my heroine. Like mothers, like daughters, to undo one another. Each time I say she is broken, women tell me they know what it is to mother yourself and your mother. But I think it's too crooked a wound, too wrapped up in the tissue of a lineage to really compare the scars. I wish to heal her from the inside, wish my blood and bones made her less cracked in the heart, less loose in the head, less easy to bend and to beat. My cells will feel the weight of your pain, drag me down far past surface where you now sit and wait. But when did you start fading? I don't remember the last time you laughed. This is the last one. The women in my family rarely smile, so I hold closely the memories of their joy. When madness took another one of us, afterward, all I heard was an echo of her giggle bouncing round and round in my brain. I hope I never forget its contours, its shape, even as I begin to forget to smile.
Fuck yes, Alyssa. I'm really sorry I skipped you now. Now I actually feel bad. Frank Ortega is next.
In the spirit of the cinepoetics we've been sharing here, I have this piece that originated a few months ago when I was in Jeffrey's film poetics class, and he had us create a written description of a visual film scene. I chose the opening credit sequence of the 1960s TV show The Fugitive, and its theme of always being on the run has already been raised here these past 2 weeks in many ways as poets and truth-tellers, living in the liminal, on the run, from so many institutions. I later had the chance to take it from a sheet of paper to the sound studio at Naropa and turn it into this 4-minute audio piece, which I offer up in its first public showing outside the classroom, and it's dedicated to all of us creatives living as fugitives in our own society.
Always the Fugitive. Opening credits. Pure black, the sound of a train whistle on the tracks, moving fast. A very worried older man going gray in the black and white film stock. He is looking out the train window into the night, pure black. It is his reflection, face alone in the landscape as he soon will be forever. Pull back to the balding man beside him on the seat as lonely window man signals for a cigarette by tapping his breast jacket pocket, his face long-drawn tragedy. As the other pulls one out and hands it to him, our fugitive looks at him deeply, intense but unreadable emotions seething. The voiceover has just told us our man has been found guilty of murdering his wife, which he did not do, and is now traveling to his execution, to the death house. He looks at his cigarette, perhaps his last one, puts it in his mouth as the other man lights it for him with a match. A moment they share, one of many to come. The smoke moves up around them like a cloak of meaning, and the fugitive looks out the window again at the lights flashing by, ponders his fate as he looks at the world for the last time and sees only darkness, burning smoke from his hand, wraiths beginning to welcome him. Bright beam of main headlight on locomotive approaching us fast, tracks lit like geometry in lightning, rushing off to infinity, trees, telephone poles, black holes in the future, but in that darkness, fate moves its huge hand. View from the front of train, tracks and soil and rock rushing under us into the night, passing tracks that curve left on one steady path that is fixed, but then wheels of the train jump again, as if they want to attempt flight, change their iron course. The men feel this, begin to react, lights flashing, looking about violently at this sudden change in their reality as the heavy wheels of fate lift off their course, fly away, and it goes dark inside that train car. The two men fly from their seats. In a flash, you see the handcuffs that bind them become a spinning tornado vortex, signifying sudden change, homes, lives, and the surely known flying away. The massive train cars are now twisted and still. Smoke rising as people climb out through broken windows, and the limping lantern is swung as bodies are carried away. The peace of a wooded stream at night is still for a moment. You can hear crickets. And then our fugitive comes running through, clothing and body torn, sweaty, falls hard into the water, liquid white, black and gray, blind us, shock of cold, slams the water to his face with both hands, baptism of desperate hope, flash of broken handcuffs dancing on his left wrist, the wedding band hand, title card, the fugitive, with frozen image of him running away from us down a brick city alley, one small suitcase in hand, his shadow against the wall, always running to keep up with him, an innocent victim of blind justice. He is free now to hide in lonely desperation, to change his identity, to toil at many jobs, to run before the relentless pursuit, just like us.
Thank you, Frank. That was fucking pro. Your intro was exactly 1 minute, and then your video was exactly 4. Up next is Anany Gilliam Salmon.
Hi again, Anany Gilliam Salmon for the archive. This first poem I wrote in my AP Lit class, senior year of high school, strict form, Villanelle. Really proud of it. Here we go. Aluminum and gold. Her eyes catch mine like metal in moonlight. His gaze remains blank like an old picture frame. Torn between these two choices is an internal fight. Her hands grasp for mine, a thief wrapped in twilight. He vies for my attention, grasping for my name. Her touch sparks heat like metal in moonlight. Her heart burns red, woven with mine, ready to ignite. He comforts in simplicities, looking for someone to blame. Torn between these two moments is an internal fight. A lovely voice talks me down in the late hours of the night. Someone will be disappointed, such a shame. Her lips curve into a smile, glittering metallic in moonlight. His embrace is one of intense power, borderline sweetness and spite. I revel in the eye of the storm, reassuring I'm not playing a game. As torn between these two souls is an internal fight. As the decision I make is one that's skin tight, the answer solidified in my mind. I hate to be lame, but I might love one more than the other if that's all right. I know who I love more, committing, strike the dynamite. This next one is, the title is a play on the phrase, earth without art would just be eh. So this is Home is Where the Heart Is. A cozy house brought to life through letters glued up against one another, building blocks to the syllables that slide off our tongues. The foundation of what you see as your eyes glide along the page, the rafters in the ceiling, full, waiting crossbows, assassins and crossbows protecting you from the wiles of life. Each brick, wood board, concrete slab, shaping all of the walls, lifting you up, forming a door, grasping the handle, turning the page, introducing you to characters who smile as you cross the threshold, a welcome mat on the front steps, strengthening that feeling of comfort and safety. The people who answer the door say, "I'm so happy to see you, so glad you came," beckoning you to come inside. Already knowing that you have made your great escape, leaving your struggles outside on the porch, taking off your shoes and jacket, a rush of warm air swirls around you as the door shuts. The words envelop you within the atmosphere, each definition twinkling in the hall light. The descriptions make everything brighter. Down the hall, laughter sparkles with a fire that burns deep in your mind, in the world you have built inside it, knowing that you have made it home, carrying it with you wherever you go. And my final one is called Emeralds of Envy. Jealousy is a nest of snakes, slithering, slimy, vile creatures, often misunderstood. Lethal bites and venom-laced fangs yearning to kill quickly, quite deadly. Jealousy is a ray of sun seeping in through the window, cascading over one's skin, warm, welcoming, easy to feel. Jealousy is dollar signs and things to buy, objects of wanting, tricking you into needing. Jealousy is manipulative, intelligent, wicked, feeding on the thoughts of desire. Jealousy is the shine of jade and forests, of hazel eyes and pine trees touching the sky, a color born of two mixed to become one, contrast in tactics, begging to pull you under. The want to be the girl who shares all the common things, road trips, concerts, beach days with friends and more, or to not be or look like a girl at all, to wear more boyish clothes and be perfectly happy without that green bleeding into my vision. Rose-colored glasses, the colors of their stems, watching the people who express themselves the way they want to without any judgment, free of the vines that are holding me hostage, warping tendrils of poisonous leaves of lust, lusting for views of masculinity and femininity wrapped in one, not the odd one out, jewels of emotion deep within my heart's core, emeralds of envy, how it camouflages within us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjani. Next up is Mark Stevens.
I promised myself that I would read this year, because I didn't last year. To those of you who've supported me, my deepest thanks. To those of you who didn't know I was coming, my deepest fucking apologies. This first piece is a flash I wrote, and it's called Beat Poets Ruined My Life. If you know, you know. Allen Ginsberg didn't pop my cherry. College party. She leaned on the thick jam, the shape of the wood distorted by layer after layer of paint. They were all white when they went on, but yellowed with smoke and grease after a while. I was a Kerouac kid, I offered. My solo cup was getting low. I looked in, could make out the bottom, thought about a refill. I heard the foam of the keg kicking. She cleared her throat. Burroughs, maybe. She pulled a face. I was a Steinbeck kid, I said, by way of explanation. She shrugged. Took a long drag on her beady, blew smoke out the corner of her mouth so it wouldn't get in my eyes. Nice girl. London, too, I went on. I felt like she didn't want this shared the way she looked off over my shoulder for a minute until the thought dissipated. Yeah, I never did get Ginsberg. Deprima, sure. She shook her glass like she was ordering another at the bar. I nodded, but didn't have anything to offer. Hal's just beatnik leaves of grass, you know, just a wasteland without footnotes. She was on a roll. A little ball of fresh spittle formed at the corner of her mouth, and she pawed it away with the back of her hand. I never read Leaves of Grass, never read Howl. I nodded anyway, stroked the point of my chin. Look, Diane Deprima, that was revolution, you know, that was opening up the world. Ginsberg, well, that was just opening up his navel, just gawping around in there. Her eyes were soft, a plea, I didn't know for what. The thing is, you win an obscenity trial, you have to push it, always getting closer to the obscene. Fucking childish. She spat. It landed on the carpet. I ground it in with the toe of my shoe. Burroughs was at least sad, man. He had regrets, painted a picture, sad picture. She took another long pull on the cigarette, ashed it out in her glass. I never read Burroughs. Kerouac was sad too, I reminded her. Goddamn Opus Dei, basement troll, mama's boy piece of shit. This time, the spittle flew out, landed on my shirt. She pushed herself off the doorframe, walked off a few steps. She turned to another girl and jerked her thumb at me. Fucking Kerouac guy, she said. The other girl nodded, her lips pursed like she already knew. I took the last sip from my cup, sucking at the dregs. I shrugged for nobody, turned into the kitchen. Maybe there were mixed drinks. All right. I have two more pieces. They are poems, so you know they're new. Thank you. They don't have titles, but they do have dedications. This first one is dedicated to the city of Superior, Colorado. It's 6:30 in the morning, and you got the gall to be jacking your hammer or driving your piles so hard out my window it's shaking my bed, and I'm sleeping in the basement. How are you gonna shake the basement? It's a goddamn earthquake. I'm up, I guess, so the shower head is hissing, and I'm hissing curses, and they don't blend into one hiss. So now I'm at odds with the shower head and decide to get out of Superior, but the radio is awful, and I just start listening to the stupid susurrus of traffic, maybe hum to myself a song stuck in my head that's an earworm, which is appropriate because it goes, born a worm, spins a cocoon. There's more, but that's the part I keep humming. The traffic gains volume and drops in volume until I'm humming and cursing at a standstill, and there's a lane closing. Some jerk's jutting in my lane, and a siren stops soft in the rear, and you can imagine it won't come, but it keeps getting louder until it's right up my ass screaming, move, but I can't because of the jutting, and the shoulder's a barrier, and so it's a standoff, and the siren is so loud I can't even hear myself hum. All right, this last one is dedicated to the worst paramedic partner I have ever had. Big Country is the worst detail man. He's too stupid to give sugar to a diabetic. We went into somebody's house and he sucked his teeth at the chicken bones on the stairwell and said, look at how these people live, right out his nose, and it started to get hot in there until I said, when these people shoot you, country, I'll grab the first shovel because I'm not laying by you any longer than I have to stand by you. Everyone laughed, even Big Country. Grandma went to the hospital. Maybe she even got some sugar. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Up next is Shannon Sky.
It's humbling to share this podium with so many incredibly talented people. This is not new. Wrote it near the end of last SWP, but only a handful of people have ever seen it. It's called Answer Key to Hidden Homework. 1913, and Senator Nelson Aldrich, grandfather of Nelson Rockefeller, along with several powerful bankers. Alexander H. Stevens, author of the Cornerstone Speech, Profits from the Slave Trade, The Dangers of Central Banking. He was a vocal critic of the Federal Reserve, and he believed it was a system designed to benefit the wealthy at the expense of the poor. A lot of things. E.g., an archaeological site in Monteverde, Chile, dating back 14,500 years ago, the resemblance of Clovis tools to those of the Sultrian culture, and the discovery of the Kenwick man. Multiple migrations took place over several millennia. A police riot in London, including multiple sexual assaults against suffragettes on February 18th, November 1910. A 1913 UK law which allowed the release from prison of suffragettes on hunger strikes in the hopes they would recover enough to be imprisoned again, so named because a cat plays with a mouse prior to killing it. The UK and France, and they did so to preserve their access to cheap cotton grown with slave labor. Not only capable, they actually did it. See Operation Cyclone. An act committed with the intent of disguising those actually responsible and blaming another party. El-Qaim detention camp in Lebanon. She attempted to assassinate Antoine Lahad, a Lebanese secular Orthodox Christian rebel. Mossad. Rome after he fell into a honey trap. An Israeli nuclear technician who blew the whistle on Israel's nuclear weapons program. Marrakesh, Morocco, in the city's Mela, or Jewish quarter. White men will be a minority by 2045. A formula for revenge, Hammurabi's Code, possibly enforcing an eye for an eye when cishet white men are out of power. A fictional terror threat named Black Identity Extremists. The FBI under Donald Trump as an imaginary counterbalance in the public narrative to the very real KKK and the neo-Nazis. A group of over 2,000 suffragettes led by Alice Paul, who nonviolently protested in front of the White House during Woodrow Wilson's presidency. She collaborated with Vichy France. 30,003 on the last day of SWP 2023. A hollow sphere of plutonium which causes a nuclear explosion when uniformly compressed by explosives. Babies born with no eyes, no heads, and who look like blobs of jelly. See Castle Bravo test. These are the answers. If they get their way, you'll never even hear the questions. Thank you. This is new shit. This was written for Anne's class, and I never brought it, so nobody saw it, not even Anne. So here it is. It's world premiere. Talk and now hear this ritual blues, here spelled H-E-R-E. Swearing in the senators, Cleopatra floats in the Thoth parade, seminary unfolds, silver shimmer priests in ancient Memphis or 21st century New Orleans. Descendants of enslaved people took possession of the master's churches, holding high the cross, high they process past. Finely carved pulpit. King flanked by two lions, green-eyed gnomon on the solstice, sweating blood in punch bowl. My big chief's got a golden crown and a Celtic cross. Casimir Pulaski ransomed them from the sword of Damocles. Rogers and Clark on a military mission mirror with jaguar or coyote. Fragment ritual. Renewal of the world, goddess of young maize. Oh, Lady Day, Lady Day, Lady Day. Thirsty St. Michael, Giotto at the Uffizi, two saints and some candles. It's all happening on the ceiling, probably a self-portrait. In the School of Athens, those two again, and another self-portrait. The sun in all glory, yes, a self-portrait. Sappho and Dante too. Or is that Petrarch? This must be the ignominious place where the bones of Cortez molder. And I was in the process of expanding this into a poem when the instructor asked me to just read that one I had read earlier, and I discarded all the changes because I guess it's done. The yogini sees these things. That's the title. Back on the merciless streets of the city, drink a Negroni just like Frank O'Hara. I can't help it if I'm lucky. Don't risk damage to the moneymaker. Best stay away from Fire Island. Like Jane, I'm a writer, and I want to write. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. I need a copy of that first poem. I have to Google every one of those things. Kat Lipom.
So just for the record, I started my day by listening to the Smiths. So that's my, yeah, exactly. I'm kind of, all right. This is in memory of Teresa Ha Kyung Cha. Je réfléchis. Je réfléchis aux limites, les limites du langage, mais pas seulement ça. Les limites tout court, trop court. De la vie, de ma vie, de ta vie, de la vie. C'est quoi cette idée de ne pas nous dire le moment qu'on est né qu'il se peut? Que la vie a des limites, ou soit sans limites et qu'il se peut. Qu'il se peut, virgule, qu'il y ait, virgule, des limites, point. Et quand même, il pleut, on rentre à l'intérieur, mais il fait soleil, on devrait faire pareil, point. Je suis désolée. Mais il ne faut pas s'excuser, il faut bouger, vivre. Toujours de quel côté des limites? Dans le champ grand ouvert ou l'enclos? Je ne veux pas d'enclos. Toi non plus. Allons ensemble sur le haut de la montagne où l'on respire l'air fraîche de la montagne. Allons trimballer notre joie là où le ciel nous aidera à réparer les désastres. C'est la joie qui peut réparer, mais on l'oublie quand le cœur est meurtri. Ne sois pas meurtri, parle, je t'écoute. Parle, prends parole, ta bouche, mon oreille, bouche, oreille. Ton cœur bat en dessous de tous ses poumons, un gros cœur bat. Nous partageons un gros cœur, il faut se le dire. Tu n'es pas toute seule, parle, je t'écoute. Parle, prends parole, ta bouche, mon oreille, bouche, oreille. Seul, ensemble, je t'écoute. I'm thinking at the limits of language, but not only that, just the limits. Too short. Of life and of life and of my life and of your life and of life. What is this idea of not telling us the moment we are born that it is possible? Whether life is limits or be limitless, and that it can be, that it may be, comma, that there are, comma, limits, period. And when even it rains, we go inside, but it's sunny, we'll have to do the same. And I'm sorry, but you don't have to apologize. We have to move, live, always on which side of the limits. In the wide open field or paddock, I don't want any more enclosures, you neither. Let's get together. Let's go to the top of the mountain where we breathe the fresh air, mountain air. Let's carry our joy, where the sky will help us to repair the disasters. It is joy that could repair, but we forget it when the heart is bruised. Don't be bruised. Speak. I'm listening to you. Speak up. Your mouth, my ear, mouth, ear. Your heart beats below all these lungs. A big heart beats. We share a big heart. You have to tell yourself you're not alone. Speak. I'm listening to you. Speak up. Your mouth, my ear, mouth, ear, alone together. I'm listening to you. Okay, this is new shit. But it's so new that it's completely chaotic, and I'm going to try and get through this. And also, the last time I tried to get through it, I started crying in the middle of it. But it was written for Anne's class, and a mixture of Stein, Milarepa, all these amazing influences coming in, and my daughter doing her final exams. Okay, so it's one of those mummy poems. Anyways, okay, so it's called Here For You. And I'm Canadian, so it's like kilometers. I don't know how to translate that in miles. I'm sorry. Here for you. 2,975 kilometers here for you. My here extends far, even further and beyond to your here. Across the earth, across the air, swim the dark through dark crusts of earth, through some kind of divide where ice tongues broke land into passages that carry sound underwater. Bring me to my daughter. 2,975 kilometers through smoke. I'm here for you. Can you hear me? All vowels, all voice. Here, I hate you for not being here, she said. I'm here as I can be. And I want to fly there. It all feels wrong to be a particle without tomorrow. Time without morrow is no tomorrow. Time without marrow. Children walk your bones around 2,975 kilometers away. I'm not there. I'm here. I sing to her, extending my vows, 2,975 kilometers to reach her marrow, vibrate it with mine. I sing. Do you want me to stop? No, mama. Continue singing. I'll sing you 60 songs in front of my cave, tower rocks and mountains. I'll spin the carousel of happiness. I'll set my hunting dog on your stress to eat it all up, send my deer to kiss you goodnight in your dreams. Are you dreaming? Please fall asleep tonight. I wish we could all sit at ease like Milarepa, already experienced the state of non-striving, sit beyond striving in the great field with no pressure. I dig and dig for my fountain, my spring of inspired utterances. Cut like a knife. Yes, she says. Matchbook, a lighter. No one has fire anymore. Here, a lonely spot, suddenly hit for a lost daughter. Young sparrows fly through the screen door. Wings up against the door of all doors, empty echoes in a dream, a vessel full of filth, saying things in winged clouds, gliding parting ways, coming together, drinking the nectar of kindness, the magic of the open prayer. And here, after 25 messages in one, you find the sparrow willing to help last minute. Here, I'm here for you, here for you, here for you. A conjuration of an angel in the dream, strain each nerve to vibrate into song for the killing of time, the flying of breath, the unwinding of the clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat. Next up is Sheree Brown.
Hey folks, another video for you tonight. This is Bbus Exilis.
Falling fathers, Bbus Exilis, fallen from night sky star. Smooth-skinned sun, bifurcated tongue, etched in gold ink Mag's solar seal. Here in this bardo of the fetch beast, blue-fingered snake visitation, hermit shapeshifter limbed in portal. Compressed reversed songs strung between latitudes, folded artfully in the cognizance of strangers. This crescent noise, building, building, building.
Your technological god, I shat upon his altar. I am here to destroy the mind virus you have been cultivating. Wrathful guardians, faces of lovers past, each a Saturn shell to traverse. Crooked ring finger, standing ruin to yesterday's apotheosis. Addicted to the fall, desultory of the train. Depleted snakeskin, a spent condom. You thought your naked monkey god had conquered mine. Singing interstitial stellar cradle. Scorched woman, birthing terror, Janus-faced. These burning lands, a holy violence. Chorale of night, children of Lilith wail, felt it fall, waitingly in the shape of eclipses. Phoneme of light pulsates, our forms tossed astride the bloody night. Broke faith with the imago, borne moonward on water dragons and blue whales, wayfaring unbodied upon road to awe. Your pilgrim horse be strayed upon a star. Cheap perfume and extinguished matches burn below in ordinary things. Conjunctio midnight met center of Gifu. In the equation, all the terms are coyote. The writer, the writer, the writer. Needlework slipping the page, written on skin, the dreamer in the wake. Belly that is foxgull longs for holding, some ridged and nameless speech, in silent kinesis of self. Lit hand to hand to hand. Lit seas slipped apart, listening into the dead. The isochronous speaking book of bones. Esotericism of body, undetected atavism. Skeletal ribs leave in textile rip. Rich necrotic wine of maggot eggs. Mouth of milkweed parts in secret silent speech. Look, these stars we follow, counting threads, the universe in 64-part mandala. Let's meet here, on the other side of equinox. Right into it. Take it into you. Supersemic glossolalia phrase chattering backward. Rewind, rewind, rewind. And you were there. And you were there. Ghost of feet. Ghost of bodies.
night walker, dream walker, finger pointer.
Thank you, Sheree. Next up is Ryan Nin.
That footage, that film, that was really like being in an exquisite portal. It's really beautiful. Okay. So I have a series of short bestiary poems that I've titled Wittgenstein's Bestiary. So let me read this epigraph from Wittgenstein's Philosophical Investigations. If a lion could talk, we could not understand him. So I've thought a little bit about what that means, but what do you, if you could think about what it means, maybe, and think about maybe how if a lion could talk, we wouldn't understand him because we don't understand anything about what a lion goes through in his everyday life. So a lion is essentially, we don't understand its context, right? So I've written poems that were more or less about, so bestiaries sometimes can take on the animal in terms of the human. I have tried to do something more in line with like the human in terms of the animal. Okay. Pig. Where the hog suck, pig suck I. Fat, red, fat, swine, swine. Where it is red, it is also sweet. Way to meaning to the red house. Mat, noatu, heta, mina. We understand not one another. Bats. On the very edge of memory, bats echo a dark crevice filled with water. What was that wonderful odor anyway? Something like sweat, moonlight, and mashed up moths. Is there a bridge to Squamio? Worm. Meaning of America based on misunderstandings. We agree all words beginning with W contain something red, e.g. Webster's worms. Roger Williams sought to make heads Uquanatop, or tails of the Nargonaset their language. How often did he and his avowed Mary dispute trifles? The theologian focuses on tuna awa komiyachuk. From whence did the soul derive its unquestioned subjectivity in the visual field? He, Niquasatum, sweats, fearing to confront the 17th century local celeb. Why seek to decipher the worm's mosaic? I'll read a few more of these. Scallop lobster. All of us see Scallop's eyes open and close simultaneously as scenes of the sea play an empty vacuum of days on a royalty cruise. Rock lobsters scuttle in tandem conga lines. Polar bear. All right. The endless figure-8 laps a polar bear makes his tiny icy pool. The zoo, the tick-tock of purgatory. Winter's trace drips from the eaves of Paris. Henry Bergson dreams his teeth are outposts floating on the fingernails of the Arctic Peninsula, jutting out into the cold sea. Pink elephants. The elephants on a narrow plot of ground bob their heads endlessly and make a run for the nearest mud hole. All plots move deathward. A poem is a cemetery plot with a punchline. Any pink elephants out there? Yes, wave at them as they pass by. Lion. In the dark, the lions approach a small invader. Our language can kill them. And then their ever-decreasing numbers, others in pairs near the car by the moon river flashing as the sunken light of day stretches over a propane tank. Giraffes. In Central Park, how quickly noise is absorbed by trees as the spires of buildings careen left, right, and around like inebriated giraffes, vibrating in a cold, savage breeze. An aura attends the simplest sounds as we clear the channels, an invisible radio, many voices, one dial. For many a moony night, the radio clamors, memory stutters its vengeance. The river otter, that rapid tapping sound of a river otter as it snowshoes up a small stream, moving in streamlined musical arrangements, a small piece for viola and piano in progress. The river otter nibbles at a treasured swirl of leaves as if to ask, by what right do you drink from my flagon of life? Do I have time for a couple more, or? Oh, one more then. Okay, mice. After de Kooning had lunch with Pollock and let all the wine pour over the checkered tablecloth, such joy, such desperate joy, rewound voicemail recordings squeak like mice. Some cheese leaves some evidence of its past even as it grows more inedible towards the end, more enticing for the mice. Thanks.
If you haven't figured it out, there's a secret grace period that I try not to tell you about. Up next is Jack Mcweeney.
Okay, I only have one poem, but it's a new poem. Of sound mind. I felt something move loudly and crawled deeper into my loud sleeping bag. I heard a cloud trying to rain and recorded it with my phone. Was tired, fell asleep, forgot all about it. When I woke up, dawn was flapping its wings. I rose out of my terrible discomfort for a little bit. Don't you think something would have happened? I listened to chunks of it and heard nothing. I scratched my ears and muttered, "The creek life is a quiet life," and let the plastic water run through my fingers and down my new hair. When I drove out of the canyon, I couldn't hear a song that didn't rub me the wrong way, but enjoyed the feeling of mud in my tires. I would come back later to retrieve my Giants cap, but for now it was good to be back on the road. Everyone started honking at me, but I paid it no mind because I knew the universe worked mysteriously, and if I waited long enough, it would all go away. It was a loud world after all, and rain sometimes fell. I scratched my ears and heard nothing. It was nice to sleep by the creek. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Up next is Drew Colbert.
Hi, grateful to be here. This poem is called Barren. I am afraid to decorate. This may seem insignificant, but life in flux has left me unable to accessorize. A room of one's own, yes, but one amidst a malevolent menagerie. A chaotic collage of other people's lives forms a tattered mental wallpaper. The library of my mind is cluttered, and so my shelves are empty. Assembling adages, I illustrate the way I wish to think, look, feel, lusting after other people's brains, growing ugly with jealousy. They remain on my screen, in reality immaterial, like dreams destructed. At the gala, parts represent the whole. We pay for the grandeur of the proscenium and the prance of the point shoes. The eyes flit around the auditorium, craving and avoiding the atmospheric orbit of those with influence, whose stark jawbones and pronounced shoulders decide the fate of the evening. To ask for her hand now would break the tenuous permission granted to this world, loaned time on which to lean. When the curtain falls, a promise gives an existential extension, but time runs out, and the pull of those jawbones and those shoulders have their way. When someone has shown you that they are made of glass, how do you keep from treating them as if they will break? Okay. Roger invited us to think about list poems and anthology and to write about an obsession of ours, and so here is my attempt. This is called holistic. Chiropractic, cranial sacral, cut the cord. Home birth, doula, doctorless. Hot onions for earache, homeopathy for heat. Vitalism, that indomitable human spirit, my body's innate ability to heal, unquestionable and always uninoculated. Before, Waldorf education, weaving desert willows, flood irrigation and flaxseed, homemade hummus from sisterly hands. Carpool and classes and college admissions, meditative morning monotony for miles and miles and miles. EMDR, energy healing, Ekankar, Reiki, religion, Rimha, neurofeedback, neuroemotional, cognitive behavioral, Kundalini, karma, crazy making or crazy curing. Later, sterility, swabs, spit tests, masks and Moderna and mRNA. Was there vehemence, parental protection, or societal sabotage? Thanks.
Thank you, Drew. And I just want to give a shout out to Genevieve, who gave up her spot to make sure that Drew could read this week. Brian Alarcon is next.
Can you hear me? Yes, fire. This is Ray's song. Iconic! What happens in this place with the lights off? Okay, bouncer. Come on, bouncer. With your bald head looking scrumptious. Nah. He can't hear me. Besides, bitch, your look goes off. And I'm sweating balls already. If someone doesn't lick me dry tonight, I'm canceling Berlin forever. Let me in, papi. Guten Tag. Ik suck dein dick if you wanna. Oh, thank God. The K's hitting and I just have so much to forget about. Okay. Tilt my head, break the neck. I'm disguised in this crowd. I can't feel, it's a dream. Can't hear voice, won't feel fear. Oh my God, take my hand. I'm a mess, feel nothing but a chill down my head. Take my hand. Peel the teeth, peel the teeth, peel the meat off the bone, tear me off. Head won't hurt, might be dead. Oh my God, check again, shoulder bounce, bending knees. Peel the teeth, I'm alive. 4 a.m, I'm not dead, sober up. Oh my God, it won't end. Can I be a man? It's my time. I can't get up. I found your sound. Can I be a man? It's my time. I can't get up. I can't get up. I can't spin around. I found your sound. Can I be a man? It's my time. I found around. Oh, it's your sound. Can I be a man? It's my time. I'm so fed up. I can't get up. It's your sound. Can I be a man? I can't get up. Your sound has found my soul around. Can I be a man? It's my time. Your sound has found. I can't just love another man around. No. This next poem is called. Thank this This next poem is called War Poem. Oh, and that one was called Rave Song. I don't think I said that. Okay. Si tanto te importa tener personalidad esto, belleza lo otro, las fiestitas y los runway, pues ponete a trabajar, o no, o te duele la piel de la cara, el sentimiento, los palos de música. A nosotros no. A nosotros nos hablas con estilo y... ¿Qué? Ay, sí. Es el lugar, ¿no? Y si nos puedes entrar. Seguro. Bueno, pues... Nos fuimos, 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 ya te dije, nos fuimos, nos fuimos, ya te dije, nos fuimos, no hay prisa, yo me salvo, nos fuimos, nos fuimos, ya verás, nos fuimos, nos fuimos, me llena, nos fuimos, soy callejero, mis manos en llamas, anillos, correas, bolsillos golpeas, botones golpeas, tacones no veas. Coraje.
Tengo la culpa, voleo, qué tramas, me oigo solo, tronando, ataúd del cielo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Next up is Shreya. Thank you, Shreya. That was great. We really enjoyed it. And you're my favorite poet of the night. Lynn Parkerson. Is Lynn also not here? Okay, well, if she comes back, somebody yell at me. Next up is Rachel Lebac. Did I fuck up your last name? Fix it if I'm wrong.
This first poem I wrote today. It is in dedication of my perpetually sweaty hands, who are the source of one of my greatest insecurities. Moist. Moist. What a repulsive word. My hands are moist. My feet are moist. Does that make me repulsive? I cringe every time I think about hand-holding team-building exercises. Once I had to hold a guy's hand. I tried to let go to wipe it on my pants. He wouldn't let go. He was too nice. Drops dripped from our interlaced hands onto the floor. Every time we had to squeeze, the exercise required squeezing. It made a squish, squash sound. It felt like wringing a wet sponge dry. A puddle of moistness developed on the gym floor. These are the type of things I think about lying in bed late at night, drenched in sweat. I miss the COVID elbow bumps. At least my elbows are not moist. When someone holds their hands out to me, I leave them hanging for what feels like an eternity. As I frantically wipe my hands on my pants, a failed attempt as the moisture quickly accumulates in milliseconds. Later, my anxious mind worries that they thought me rude, or worse, that they found me repulsive. I suck at opening jars. My hands just can't get a good grip. They just slip around, useless. I can't wear certain clothes. Once I wore a dress to a wedding. I rested my hands on my lap during the ceremony and was horrified when I saw 2 wet handprints on my lap. My clothes are always moist from being used as a towel all day. I can't wear most sandals. My feet just slip and slide. My foot has slipped and ripped off the strap and scraped my heel. Wearing slippers repulses me. The moisture seeps into the shirling, the shoe damp and moist with no release, exacerbates my athlete's foot and is smelly. Oh, the smell. I beg you, don't ever smell my shoes. I tried to clean them, but most shoes are hard to clean. Why on God's green earth are shoes so hard to clean? Hallelujah to the shoes you can throw in the washing machines. I don't ever donate them. Trust me, no one ever wants my old shoes. Socks are my best friend. When I was in middle school, I went on a school trip to Disney World. I bought something. I don't remember what. I just remember the repulsed look on the teacher's face as she told me to go clean up in the restroom. I was confused. Clean up what? When I looked down at my hands, I saw that they were completely covered in the blue dye from the plastic bag I was holding. The dye was on my legs and on my pants. It was on my face. The dye was no longer on the bag, but it was everywhere it wasn't supposed to be. I didn't know this was possible. I felt like a toddler that made a huge mess of paint. It was the worst feeling for a middle schooler to have. Sometimes I fear that no one will ever love me, that they will find holding my hands repulsive, or worse, that they'll be too nice to admit it. An awkward silence will hang in the air while both of us want to crawl out of our skin, but are both too anxious to put it into words in fear of hurt feelings. If you find me repulsive, I don't blame you. Heck, even I do sometimes. Now I've learned to appreciate my moist hands, sometimes at least. I don't ever have to use lotion. My moist hands are soft, and that's where the positives end. The silver lining in this poem is minimal. The second and last piece I wrote for the workshop this week. Hostile stares pierce the heart 1,000 times till the body is numb with the emptiness. They run away from imaginary cooties and look away like they saw Medusa. I crash every party I am invited to and wonder what I did wrong. Even I have become afraid of my own reflection. I know that no one wants me here. It is not a bad word. I am bleep. It is not a bad word. The cards pulled from the deck appeared grim, but that doesn't mean they are blessings in disguise. That didn't stop them from jumping to conclusions and making rash judgments. The judgments are what sealed the miserable fate, not the cards. I am a monster of your imaginary making. My misery is your fault, not the cards. It is not a bad word. I am bleep. It is not a bad word. Are you going to sneer? Are you going to fence? Bleep people out of society? You use solitary confinement as a disappearing spell. It is nicer than murder. You are secretly eugenicist, won't admit it because it makes you evil. I think your refusal to see it as it is makes you worse. You can try to get rid of me, but I will remain. It is not a bad word. I am bleep. It is not a bad word. You grant wishes no one asked for, claimed you had good intentions, but refused to listen. You gave me the gift of obedience, trapped me to a life of torture, and failed to understand why I am so angry. You say I should be grateful, but you stole my free will. It is not a bad word. I am bleep. It is not a bad word. I've been floating in space for so long, I was told that I'm cold and suck at giving hugs. I've been in solitary for so long that I conjure up ghosts that are no longer there. All of my friends are imaginary. My days are spent stuck in daydreams. You don't ever wonder what it's like to be me, how sad it is to live a life untethered. It is not a bad word. I am disabled. It is not a bad word. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Come on up, Huck Shine.
Let us all honor our mothers. I come to bare my soul. So, in the words of our stalwart leader of the festival, Dr. Pethybridge, please judge it kindly. Let me tell you all about my mama. It's a list of things my mother taught me. How to smile through the pain, how a smile is real power, how to forget the empty spaces and to smooth the rough bits. She taught me how to sing from my soul and how to never be disappointed by the power of never wanting, only hoping, only praying. My mother showed me in exquisite detail how to feel powerless and how to show it with a quiver of mouth under hollow, waxen eyes. My mother showed me that they listen when you hurt yourself, and that when there is blood, you can be a wolf, not a person. My mother tried to teach me how to cook, uncountable hours behind her leg in the kitchen together, in the heat and the smells of food made to fill and to heal the spiritual exit wounds that the trauma of violence against mother leaves in a little boy's soul. But I never actually cooked myself a meal till I had been gone from her for so long. My mother taught me shame. She taught me the strength of a hollow soul. She taught me how to work a room and to fake it till I make it or break it. She taught me that no one truly cares and that it is good to be alone. My mother, she taught me to be beautiful and to love. Above all, she taught me how to love with all that I am. Anyway, this is the end of all good things. And so the great cat has come to wean, to a decorated uniform and a powerful secret language. She now has the wisdom to see the tale of fire on the pious man, to ride with the ram or the pony as a coyote entranced with the ancient moon. She holds the eternal font of true and timely knowledge flowing inward at the junction of the pineal and the soul, endlessly filling the cup of the bewildered child inside her, of the falling woman she always seems to feel, all a growing flower. Forward with her flowing hair, a sorceress holding a symbol of power, she is a rising soul once departed with a delicate grip on a star, sitting on a stone beside the stream where there floats a broken white mouse, witnessing the death of all good things, slowly drifting by the hanged man who just earned his royal cloth under the important rays of the potently cloudy sky. She has set aside her crown, for she knows that she has the mouth of a god, of a star gone supernova. Her face calm in the midst of turmoil, of battle. Under a forest of splintered trees with falling leaves of flame, temperance of heart trumpeting from up above, a field of black and white blades built the bones of the icy terrain below. Might as well be a winged seraph cow, writing glorious elegies in the clouds for the purchase she has found in prayer. This here is the seeking of justice under fire raining from the sky. What is needed is the surety of a hand on a rod stuck firmly into the ground, the perfect walking stick found. She stands and she screams, "Omega on the wheel!" And the little injured mouse screams too, though it is too broken to stand. Its fury is felt with wings of seasonal fire. Might be the angels of the oracle hit that sword of justice, for it is already over. All is lost. Yet still they scream, fist to the molten sky. Both broken things in the chaos of it all.
I think that was your best performance, Huck. I mean that. Thank you. Rachel Virginia Gula, everybody.
Thank you, Pat Crew. Appreciate it. Yeah, Pat Crew.
Thanks so much. So much talent and creativity, yeah. Thanks for making all this possible, everybody. This is from Wednesday. I think it's called Second Week Wednesday. I think that's what I wrote. Heart jumps, tummy dropped when you looked my way for a moment, afraid the institution failed to keep us safe. Peach aura of protection, ritual intrinsic at our roots is connection. We will be okay, but something's gotta change. Who's gonna show up, walk the talk, talk the walk? Is restorative justice possible in Title IX's rules? Yeah, how many reports does it take to ask someone to leave? We will be okay, but something's gotta change. Some fires we want to let burn, archive of what would nature do? Seeds who can only grow, activated by the flame. How did this discrimination get tolerated? It's free speech bullshit, systematic oppression. Comfort for the day, just like Ben, obedient babies sucking on some applesauce from the vending machine. Yeah, we're fucking hungry, but hey, yeah, we will be okay. Something's gotta change, please, something's gotta change. Much love to you all.
Thank you, Rachel, Virginia. Next up is Laura Johnson.
This is Laura for the archive. I'm going to be performing some songs from my project, Fermented Angels. I'm giving you fossils and lichen because that's all you deserve. The memories speak not just for themselves, but also amongst themselves. They're like lichen on a tree, which of course has roots, but who planted it? You didn't build that, said Obama. They're like messages in the bottle. An expository collection of fibers musically explaining their exposition and heart. The heart is not particular or universal. It is a stray being that can be invoked at different times in different places. I'm not trying to send messages, but rather shading eruptions tattered and rearranged. AI does this kind of thing, I notice. I saw the music videos and I thought to myself, what kind of COINTEL type shit, COINTELPRO type shit did I involve myself in by having videos of me on that YouTube account? But also, there's not a search for Morocco mole. It's all diffusing into music. Kumbaya.
They said the western part.
Hold on, you tiny boys. Hold on, you tiny boys. Hold on, you tiny boys. Hold on, you tiny boys.
Hold on, you tiny boys.
And next, is it? And the next one is called Throwback. A bevy of sunrise in the turtle's head, so your prayers are all answered. It's time for bed. Your lasso is broken, it's the fate of your race. Now the tides are broken, now you restrict the place. Well, I said, well, that's all well and good now. First comes the donkey, then comes the plow. But can you tell me, oh apparition guarded, but still in a different vision? How can I eat, and how can I breathe in the mud of Mutini's water? And the sunrise in the turtle's head. This is what it said to me. A throwback, it's the Mac. A stabilized computer of a fossil's creation. Throwback, it's the Mac. A stabilized computer of a fossil's creation. What lingers there in a crumbling nation? It's a throwback, it's a fossil's creation. I don't know how I feel. The windows are sticky and And a placard of reception comes with a message. Listen to the wind. Care for the animals. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Up next is William Shakespeare, Andy Riley.
Once again, I am not Shakespeare. What? Oh my God. I have many names. Hello, dear contemporaries. I don't know how to follow any of that. Here we go. If You're a Viper poem for Shannon, which Shannon assigned me at 1:46 a.m. when we were listening to a bunch of jazz. Can you hear me in the back? Okay, cool. The sky is high and so am I. I'm a viper for a long time. Dandy. The tea stuff's still where we left it. Early, I can guess our friendship and temporality connect like water to the stomach, liquor to the liver. But these were those yuck gin tonics. Go the long way round. Don't walk through all the yuck. Really, it's faster. Thank you. Oh, man. Okay. Into a bed of rose thorns, the way out is a green exit sign slung above cognition. Promise skips a beat. If you put me back where you expect me, where will he be? Mausoleumed under the fireplace, drenched in mayo, marrow, banking on return of distant light. You lose the scissors in the drawer. 4, prior to snipping nerves ample, facts drop to the ground. The world's tallest brick building gets lost like birds. I let you run out of my eyes, step over the crescent-cut rim around the cornea, wild hills, one drop of water, drooled, stationed, flowing down, non-stick, clingy, like a hug. Thank you. I got one more, but I didn't put it in the right document, but it's here. This is for Huck and his family. Huck rocks syllabics as tiredness roars. We smile our public smile, riff internally at each other's hearts. You hung on my windpipe as we gleefully dragged down Pearl Street. What's left to say? You know exactly how I feel. Thank you.
Big thanks to the Poet Laureate of Fort Collins coming down to share poetry with us tonight. The People's Poet Laureate of Fort Collins. Up next is Will Vincent.
Thanks for hanging in there, y'all. This one was written in Carolina's class, inspired by Kate's favorite sound, which was crow feet on moss in Scotland. It's called Below Rain. Between the crow and its croak, the general's visible breath curls cold morning air. On blasted heath, in death metal's blast beats in a hot and cramped Volvo, I find darker shades of decibel and speed. Where the garage TV mist glows with the same shit films repeated, I hear the phlegm-stuck throat call of the crow. Let it hover to peel cheese from plastic, scuttling aqueducts. Let them send their wind spell to billow my silk shirt as I amble the drought-bleached concrete, sunburnt, scheming. After another day feeling raw and eaten by critic children, I see a red bicycle halved by flood and the crows guilty. I nod to them and whisper, "Hello, brothers." To let the crows come, I let their caw resound. Let it click in subsong and drown sword. Let it snuff strobing gun flame. Let Kevlar molt. Let its click open tanks, kinetic penetrator into crude bloom. Blown backward going steel in a peeled bouquet like an old cartoon. Let the crows burst from the cavities of my cousin's Megamart turkey as we zone further out on storage wars and smoke in the basement before men who kill ducks for fun. My cousin, whose head hurts after every beer from being immobilized in Iraq by our wilting president's broad and concerted campaign. Let crow come from roach and rat to electroshock into undeath every buried thing. Let their wing beat eclipse our hallowed yop, so cliche. The crow is always new. They come in 2s, 4s, 8s, slanted infinites in 16s, doubling. They harried flap cups, salt spray, distort warbling. Let them pilfer the op-eds from Upper East Sider columnists, gloom-filled navels. Let them pull the Joker costume off our orange-stuck pig and nibble his Gulf skin. Let the torn bullet money adorn their scrawled twig nest. Let crows feed their crowlets, tongues pointing in need, fed from scavenged stolen light. Let the squall come pell-mell in clouds to slip over berg-cold sea with slick black wings and crag coast coughing. Let crowfoot be quiet on peat moss, soft as they walk, black-taloned over green as rain hastens pine. Let their plumes heave with subsong to block satellites, beaming data as midnight spills over creek paths. Let crows open me like teenagers with twitch-born rhetoric, their looping math beam through me, mad down into my gut, drumming. Let their raw youth ride cash well into dawn, speedrun life to concoct operas and virtual shared worlds, tilling digital soil. Let me nod to trap in approximate communion as I catch the open Klieg light beckoning. Let me fall into the crow's abyssal lake-cold eye. Let it burn a look to Pluto, locked in dance with Charon, 2 shards huddling with lesser moons, Idra, Styx, Nyx, Kerberos, dangling mass. The crow eye stabs a long look through clouds as we wade flooded bomb shelters in storm drains where my brothers play at drowning each other, where the wire sparks hot like a headless snake through puddles. Let the weird sisters come in 3s, 6s, 12s, 24s, switched on. Let hell clean the sea. Let their siren croak, crack, cracked rock. Let the murderers murder bloody moons. Let projectors burn open every screen. Let me shovel corn in the wastebasket movies. Let crow choke the poison coughing justices, repealing with legal pads and brute rhetoric. Let the crow call run their voices hoarse. Let flap and beak hold their eyes forever. Let them damn history's ghouls. Let crow croak fight for honest life. Let crow call in krill, in Ock, in Coil, in Malcolm, Burnham Wood, Hecate, Shockcock, Clock, Talkpocht, in Skulkin Cawdor, locked its skitch, beckoning beak of mate. Let speech, weeping eyes stick in the crow's beak, vacant, our rubble aswarm with crows crawling over ears with rake. Thanks.
Thank you, Will. Next up is Charlie Sachs.
Still bright. Hello. These are both from Valerie, who performed last night's somatic class. The first one is fun, and the second one is a love letter to that class. If you're here, you know. Okay. Boxes. My body helps me play. My body helps me play. My body steps toward what the brain jar wants to eat. Sit and plays ghost, echo on the floor. Play often comes in boxes these days. Boxes easy to buy or download. Good things come in squares. Dolls, board games, Baldur's Gate, a bed to fucking with built-in straps. Get play where you can get it. Half off at the diner with a crazy straw. Okay. All right. We will not keep the cadence of fear and the cradle and all hanging in the tree forever, my love. We're already invited. Gasoline perfume on the envelope to the bed of nails. Others follow, shoveling moth wings and cobwebs into the canals, protecting their tender ear drums, drumming in the skulls inside us already, saying, say my name, saying, I will see you, sweetheart. Listen to the frogs heckle the moon, saying, sit down a while, tell your ghost to stop trying so hard. You weren't born to hold all this, sweetheart. Let it pass through you into someone's hand. Try again, love, try. Who do you mimic with your mouth? Who do you imagine holding you? You when you weep, belly tight, ankles creased, shiny, swollen, tearful. What are the little men inside of you hungry for? Sweetheart, we are only steam rising off bodies, a peel-off costume. What do you want to show me? I will not be here forever, love. Kings and roofs will fall, tell me now, and all the mundanity and magic of my life is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Up next is Kaylee King.
Hello, everyone. I just have one little piece for us tonight. I started it on Monday during the panel. I just finished it like maybe an hour ago. Or maybe, I don't know, I revised it, I should say. I got a little crazy. This is dedicated to Anne Waldman, because it's about Anne Waldman. It's called Goddess of Poetry. From her stage throne into her microphone scepter, the poetry queen of the East Village offers a more personal rendition of Let There Be Light. The goddess of poetry says, I cannot see you. Perhaps we can bring up the lights. She flares her hands, palms down, like she is casting a spell. The Father God I knew wanted light for the sake of light. The goddess mother asks for light in order to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaylee. Next up is Liv Fisher-Smith.
Gotta have a chapstick. This poem is called Flight Lessons. In the first days, when I burned with vengeance, I did not know where to sink my knife. I weave it now into the cloak that I wear at the airport, metal eyes plucking at my threads. No gate will send me through. My cells flicker holograms, not here, straddle, not here, my feet touching impossible shores. The boatman collects his fare. Biometric data is a sickening tender. It will not pay my way to where I want to go. Wrong gate, wrong river, I want flight lessons. The hot velocity of careening between realms vaporizes me, demands multiple simultaneous altitudes. This is my option. Underworld jet lag. I long to avoid the fields of mint. The sleepless world's monopoly on travel is a stupid distraction. I sit still, I dig in claws. I sit still because I have to. Let her be torn from me, press my body into the earth. Let her be torn from me because I have to. It's a tearing, not a chase. Press my body into the earth. Let her be torn from me and clutch my wavering particles. I wrote this while brushing my teeth last night. It's called Sacrifice. Sacrifice. When I fire my sketchy whale, even though he probably wasn't even gonna kill me. When we stop fucking, even though our relationship isn't in ruins. When I cleave off chunks of my flesh to match the departure of her spirit. I like to know who I share a wall with, but this bitch moved in way too fast, and it took me a while to warm up to her. I wasn't exactly bringing her a tray of muffins, but I get it now. This is your street, this is your town, and I know what you want from me. I'm not that good at following and partner dancing. This world teaches out of us a proactive relationship to loss because it wants us gutted. Death has a hard job in this place. She's honestly doing the most, and nobody's paying attention. Obviously, no one's telling her a good job. Accolades don't really make sense. She's working a desk job. She's middle management. We had choices and we invented middle management. She doesn't have a retirement plan. She doesn't have a 401k, not a pizza party. It's fucking sick to make her dress in khakis. I know I'm not the only person in this place who likens purgatory to a waiting room. Just fill out this form, no. Wrong, medium, shred all of the files. If you charted it out by time and resource, you could make the case that I have a more devotional relationship to the Alameda County Department of Parking Citations than I do to the worldly forces that I'm weaving with and woven by. Like, are you fucking serious? You want to go to court? Anybody ever wants to go to court? You say death proceedings, and it's a carbon copy list of possessions. It's so dry I could cough up ash. Our ceremony is hearse and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse until it's a museum and the streets reek of nothing. It's a cement box. The boat that took us across the river is now a cement box designed to never change. The favorite nursery rhyme is being alone. And why would you ever give anything up if all you have is yourself? Why would you court pain if you have no one to hold you? I don't want to, but I'll run to you. I'll knock on your door. Thanks.
Y'all, it is 9:28. Please welcome your final poet of the night, Eevee Vigil.
Hello, what's up? I'm honored to close us out. So I'm actually going to choose, no, I'll do this one. I wrote this in Danielle's class. That's right. This is called Dedication to Flaking Stone Mountain, aka Pedernal. Devotion speaks in crevices of your crypto-crystalline, in the choice I made to never approach you without a gift. I've learned that you love consistency, drama, recognition, dynamic archives of sounds and colors. A queer mother, complete in your changing. Lightning flickers a slit into the atmosphere. Trembling is a form of witnessing, for I can't keep up with your weather. Flint, bloody, wet, even hypnotic, gnomes in puddles, petulantly scattered. Cattle guards do not contain the unexplainable mist that reaches for you. Part 2. Devotion speaks in storms with which you rigorously fractured me, nearly killed me with the exactitude of your rage. Even as I desired anything but the gauntlet to claw at your horizon was fated, a fluid searching for outlet. Toxic algae concentrated the perimeter of the reservoir, became the apprehension of my heart. Twice I attempted to swim with the wayward trout. My eyes burned. I could feel they were heartbroken. Part 3. Devotion speaks in grinding stones, unearthed from the surface of a dirt road under your skirt. My gay ass twirling, eyes wider than the gorge, panties wet, engorged, treasure everywhere. In proximity to you, everything has meaning, even the dream last night where the lion stalked us because we didn't invite her to dinner. Part 4. I pivot my body, but never look away. If we are the disruption in her story, how dare we look away? Part 5. Who am I to refuse your lore as anything but a New Mexican cowboy waxing poetic? Humans were never supposed to be here, only gods. But this was the death I committed to. Sediments, sentiments, and sometimes when I watch you, watching me out the window, I count to 10. Take 3 devastating breaths. I'm not intimidated by your gaze, but the secret paradise of which I am often unworthy. When I finally look away, please know it's because I must. Keep moving. I must keep moving, keep missing you, like all cowboys do. Thank you.
Thank you, Eevee. Thank you to everyone who read tonight. Please applaud yourselves, you fucking legends. Amazing shit. My apologies to the 3 people who didn't get to read. I really wish we could keep going. And, you know, like if only there were some way that we could all just gather somewhere again later tonight in like 3 hours exactly. If only there were like an alley that was going to be full of poets at exactly midnight under the full moon. I guess there's nothing we can do about it. Which is to say, please come to the full moon reading. It will be in Morrison Alley on 13th and Pearl. It's been going for 13 years, since October 2011. It was founded by several members of my cohort. Box Turtle McGillicuddy, Alan Mudd, and Toodles Methuselah. There's, you know, probably some other cool stuff going on this week. Let's see what those things might be. There's the open mic at Lone Tree tomorrow night. City Silhouettes live at Colfax. And if you felt like coming to Naropa, we have a faculty reading featuring Benjamin Kunkel, Lucia Hinojosa Gaxiola, Carolina Abade, and Roger Reeves. See you in the alley.